Welcome to day 100 of our school year. We get to fill in another row, and that row completes this group of 100. That's what that dark mark shows, is that group of 100. 80 school days left. All right, let's get down our beginning fraction. Our denominator is 180 because that's our total amount of school days. And we are on day 100. Okay, so let's find the factors of our numerator, 100. Two factors we always know are 1 and the number itself. Using the commutative property of multiplication, I can write it as 100 times 1. Now I'm going to go through my divisibility rules in order so I don't miss any. So after 1, I try 2. The rule for 2 is that it ends in an even number. 0 is an even number when it's at the end. So yes, this is 2 is a factor. 100 is a multiple of 2. 2 half of 100 is 50. Next we try the rule for 3. The rule for 3, we add the digits together. 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 is not a multiple of 3, so 3 is not a factor. We try 4. One way to check for 4 is that you look and see, is the second factor with 5 even? 50 is even, so 4 is a factor. 4 quarters makes $1. That's also why they're called quarters, because it's 1/4 or 1/4. So 4 times 25, 25 times 4. Okay. Try 5. The rule for 5 is that it ends in a 0. It does end in a 0. 5, that would be like 5 cents or nickels. 20 nickels makes $1. We try 6. The rule for 6 is that both 2 and 3 are factors. 2 is, but 3 is not, so 6 is not a factor. We try 7. 7 times 10 is 70, 77, 84, 91, 98, 105. 100 is not in that list, so 7 is not a factor. We try 8. 8 times 10 is 80, 88, 96, 104. 100 is not in that list, so 8 is not a factor. We try 9. The rule for 9 is the same as 3. We add the digits together, we get 1. 1 is not a multiple of 9, so 9 is not a factor. We try 10. The rule for 10 is that it ends in a 0. It does end in a 0, so 10 is a factor. And it's 10 times 10. There's no counting numbers or natural numbers between 10 and 10. Also, when we have the factors exactly the same, that means it's a perfect square. Let's go ahead and list our factors from least to greatest. 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 20, 25, 50, 100. We have 9 factors. That is more than 2 factors, so it is composite. We only have 80 days left. So to find our greatest common factor, I'm not even going to try 100 because I'd only be able to make a box of the shaded area because there's only 80 left. So let's go ahead and try 50. We have 5 tens, 5 tens, 5 tens. That leaves 3 tens or 30. So I have a remainder. That means 50 did not work. Let's try 25. 20 plus 5. 5 plus 20. Your groups do not have to look like mine, but you do need to keep the shaded separated from the unshaded, and you do need to make sure there's 25 in each group. It's 26. I have 5 left over. There's a remainder, so that means that 25 is not a factor of 180, so it is not a common factor. Let's try 20. Groups of 20 worked, so we found our greatest common factor. It is 20. All right, so let's figure out how many total groups of 20 we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 groups of 20. And how many are shaded in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means we have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 20 left. 4 times 20 is 80. So 4/9 of our year is left. Okay, so we did our division with our model. Let's go ahead and use our algorithm. So we're dividing both by 20. So we're going to divide 180 by 20, and we're going to divide 100 by 20. I know that 20 nickels is 100 cents. Numbers the same, zeros the game, more on top, no need to stop. I'm going to do 2 groups of 20, that's 40. Numbers the same, zeros the game, more on top, no need to stop. And then 2 more groups of 20. Numbers the same, zeros the game. Now you may have recognized here that 4 groups of 20 would give you 80, and that's perfectly fine. If you can see that, you can get to the answer more quickly. But if you don't, just know that the multiples you do know will get you to your answer. We add these partial quotients, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and then here, 5 groups of 20 is 100. Numbers the same, zeros the game. And then we get 5. Now we need to check using our inverse operation. Divisor times quotient plus remainder. Divisor times quotient plus remainder. Now I'm going to write it this way because the commutative property of multiplication, I could have either one written as the multiplier. Now, since I have 0 for my remainder for both of them, and the identity property of addition says when you add 0 it stays the same, I'm not going to actually take the time to add 0. 9 groups of 0 is 0. 9 groups of 2 tens is 18 tens. 5 groups of 0 is 0. 5 groups of 2 tens is 10 tens. So 100, that matches our dividend up here. That checks. 180, that matches our dividend up here. So that checks. So our numerator is definitely 5, and our denominator is definitely 9. Okay, let's go ahead and fill in our data collection page. Okay, trimester 2, week 9. Today is 1/29/2020. It is the 100th day of school, but that simplifies to 5/9. That is our fraction for today. We did groups of 20, so let's go ahead and get out our number line. And our groups of 20, we have 4 9s already. We have to go all the way over here. And 5 9s is our next line. We do have an equivalent fraction in the 9s. I'm sorry, in the 10s. In the 5s, in the 4s, and in the 2's, because 2, 4, 5, and 10 are all common factors, but 20 was our greatest common factor and gave us our equivalent fraction in lowest terms, or our simplest form. Okay, let's go ahead and put our number line away, erase our worksheet, and thank you for joining me.